They found an abandoned Barbie house that was never meant to be left. We pull up to a row of shuttered storefronts, and there it is. Pink shingles half buried in weeds, tiny plastic windows staring blank. A life-size dollhouse sat like an accident at the edge of the city. Everything about it is wrong. We step out. The air smells like damp cardboard and old paint. The door is chained. The windows are taped from the inside. Someone stripped the inside clean. Not vandalism, not a prank. It feels deliberate. It feels like a containment that was unhooked and left out in the open. They saw something follow it, a woman at the corner says, fingers wrapped tight around her umbrella. Blue, like a blur. It skittered past the news van. Her voice is small. She won't meet my eyes. A reporter across the street points at the house on live feed footage. Mid-broadcast, she freezes. Camera cuts. Her producer later tells us only that she looked past the camera and didn't finish the sentence. It moved on its own, he says, like a glitch. We've been chasing ghost leads for days. My partner, calm, skeptical, practical, pats the hood of the car and counts our gear. He doesn't do sensational. He does locks and logistics. We don't run into dollhouses and secrets on our lunch breaks, he says. Either this is elaborate theater or someone didn't want this found. If you want us to follow every lead on this, hit subscribe. This is just the start. The city has been twitching around that house like a nervous animal. A precinct down the road looks like someone emptied it in a hurry. Coffee cups half drunk. A radio left on. We had complaints, an officer tells us. He thumbs a badge and looks toward the river. Calls about a blue streak near the docks. People said something moved under the street lamps. At the docks, a dock worker points across the water. She ran that way, he says, short, clipped. He shows us a photograph on his phone, a smear of blue where someone should be. And then the lights blew. Only that smear stayed. The picture flickers like a corrupted file. We find a small plastic shoe lodged in the boards, tiny, bright pink, the kind of cheap accessory you'd toss away, the kind that should mean nothing. It doesn't. We push inland toward the swamp where the city dissolves into black water and dead trees. The air here tastes different. The swamp sleeps heavy. At the edge of the water, something has scraped away reeds. There are streaks of purple paint on the bark. The paint is glossy under the moon. We shine a light. It runs iridescent. It's the same purple we find smeared along the dollhouse threshold, the same purple on a rain-soaked folder we pull from a puddle earlier. 3 different places. One pattern. At the abandoned factory on the far side of town, the smell hits us first. Fresh paint under dust, a chemical tang like solvent. Inside, machines sit like skeletons. One set of stairs leads down to a basement no one on the street seems to mention. A door with a keypad. Someone has tried to force it open. Scratches halo the handle. We jam a crowbar in the seam and pry. Downstairs, a bank of monitors hums to life like a waking eye. Files stacked on a metal table. A folder stamped in bold red. Top, unreadable, top secret. The label is half rubbed by rain, but the letters we can read rearrange the whole story. This wasn't an abandoned prop. It was a site, a test, a containment. We pull footage up on the monitors. Grainy clips flicker across the screens. At first, a technician walks past a pink doorway. He frowns at the sensors. He brings someone else in, an inspector. The house's interior lights cycle. Buttons flash. The feed cuts to a figure small and curled, the camera angle making it look fragile, like a child or a mannequin. The frame skips. When it returns, the figure is gone. A timestamp blinks. The image is altered, edited, or corrupted. The caption on one clip reads, "Subject transfer failure." Another file shows a blue streaks trail across the camera like a digital tear. A voice from the speakers, recorded and flat, says, "Containment parameter breached. Do not remove unit." We stare at the screen. The partner swears quietly. So it wasn't left. It was placed, and then somebody walked away. The whole city's little oddities crisscross into one thing, an experiment left open, a mission aborted, a house emptied, not by time, but by intent. Clues keep snapping into focus. The tiny plastic shoe at the docks, the smear of purple paint in the swamp, the rain-ruined folder from the curb, security footage that slams home the impossible, the house behaving like a machine. Each clue ratchets the danger up a notch. Word travels fast. People gather at the fence, curiosity edged with fear. A shopkeeper shows us a hair clip by the alley, decorated with a plastic heart. "My kid used to play with one," she says. "Now this shows up on the street." Her hands tremble. Another witness, an old courier, drops in a whisper. There's something that watches from the factory wall. A shadow that's not a shadow. He taps his chest and walks away. We trace the paper trail back to a single locked door in the lab. It's heavy, industrial, thick metal and welded hinges. The keypad is scorched. A security guard, large, broad-shouldered, blocks our approach. He doesn't move when we ask questions. His jaw works behind a jawline like stone. He says nothing. He simply plants himself like a warning sign. Behind him, the lab breathes low and steady. Cameras mounted on the wall blink. One camera shudders, and the feed stutters with a blue frontal streak that washes across the screen like a wounded sky. That guard is the first real obstacle. The second is the way the city reacts when you point a light at something people have been trained to ignore. A whispered rumor about scales. A rumor about a creature with skin like wet metal. A whispered plea about an experiment that went sideways. Nobody wants to say it loud. Saying it loud invites attention, and attention is why the house was never meant to be left. We don't have a key. We have a plan and a pocket full of tension. We set cameras outside the door. We take minute long clips of monitors and swivel the lenses like we'd done 100 times before. The blue blur shows up again on one feed. A streak, faster than a person. The partner freezes the frame and zooms. For a half beat on the footage, something tall and wrong steps close to the door. The silhouette is not human. It tilts. A mechanical whisper from the speaker scratches the air. Then it recoils. A wet handprint in purple paint blooms across the metal like a stamp. It's the sign that makes us all silent. A child-sized handprint, purple paint dragged down a surface, each finger splayed. It matches the pattern on the folder, the smear at the swamp, the paint at the threshold of the house. Connection. Design. Evidence that whatever belonged with that house touched the heavy door and left a mark. We brace for the last threshold. We stand shoulder to shoulder at the metal, feeling the hum through our boots. The partner looks at me. There's something like pleading in his voice now. "Open it?" he asks. Before I answer, a monitor blinks to life. On the screen, a short clip looped cold. A silhouette in the doorway of a pink room. A reflection of camera light off something glassy, like a toy eye. The figure reaches out, slow and impossible. For a second, the light catches something round and shiny. A toy eye. A glance back toward the interior. The frame cuts. A whisper from the crowd behind us. It's watching. The guard steps toward the keypad, fingers hovering, then stills.